Good morning, collective. Let's see here. Let me. There we go. All right, now I got it. Every time when I go on the Zoom thing and then I move from Zoom into YouTube, I continue to have this issue. But how is everyone doing, collective? This is Dr. Samuel J. Lombardo, the Executive Director, CEO, Financier Agent Coach, and Consultant for SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC, Fashionista Studios, LLC, Artist Gala USA, LLC, and Couture Designs Photography, LLC. I'm also nationally and internationally known as the and trademark as Soul Mending Alchemist. You can follow me online at www.soulmendingalchemist.com. You can also follow me on YouTube, all one word, Soul Mending Alchemist 1111, as well as all one word on TikTok, Divine Guide 1111. Excuse me, sorry. um, I have just gotten through with a meeting, and I wanted it to kind of, oh, and you could also book um private sessions with me for your spiritual walk at info at artists, excuse me, info at soulmendingalchemist.com or soulmendingalchemist 1111 at gmail.com. All right. Uh, I have a whole lot going on. Plus, I have a little bit of a message for someone. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. I hope you all have a wonderful time, that your weekend went well. I know it's supposed to be on a live yesterday. I gotten so caught up. I'm back to my normal self, at least for now, anyway. um, Thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes, also cash apps, okay? Because all those are going towards the Artist Gala USA event. So I do appreciate that. That is $ Samuel coming spelling Lombardo. L as in Larry, L as in Oscar, M as in Mary, B as in Bravo, A as in Alpha, R as in Rain, D as in Delta, O as in Oscar. So $ Samuel Lombardo. And I do appreciate any donations that you do provide. Um, and I'm also going to take each of the readings that you want from me and I'm putting them towards the event as well, because this is going to help the industry of which I also serve. So while I am a spiritualist, as I'm a Christian, I'm able to give 3D messages and share them alike. It does help that some, there are people like me who are also within the community. They have part-time jobs, they do their own businesses, etc. I have it all happening. I got a part-time job, which I'm heading to right now. I got three businesses. One of them is basically like a nonprofit organization, Artist Gala USA, LLC. And I'm basically, the goal of Artist Gala USA is to bring the community of fashion designers, models, and talent to align together, basically. Bring the community together for several events during the year. So, and one of the things that I'm getting ready to do is going to be very, very special. I'm going to be going through a yearly nomination period starting in January. We're going to be nominating various fashion designers to get their new styles actually showcase at about 5 different fashion shows inside of a ballroom at the Signal on December 6th of 2024. All right, that's going to be our first kickoff finally, because it took me a couple of years to actually do this. Every little cent did add up. Every seed added up for the amount of investment that I'm creating here for this company. So, and we even have a bigger, better, and bolder idea that's going to be happening even outside of that, because we're going to, what we would like to do is rent out the exhibit hall at the convention center to the different various designers to go ahead and actually have sales. So we're gonna have like a shopping pass for different drawers, fashion designers, clothing, such as Coach, Gucci, and things like that. Like it's all gonna be coming to right here, downtown Chattanooga. Okay. And it ain't the fake stuff. It's like the people that actually work in this, the people who actually design these, okay, are going to be coming out to the event. We have models that are going to be showcasing this, and then you can actually rent, or not rent, but you can actually buy a shopping pass for Saturday, and I'll tell you more about that later, for where you can go to the exhibit hall. So everything that you see on Friday on the 6th, you'll be able to go and shop for on the 7th, okay? And it will be at sale prices, especially for you, in these brand named comms. So you definitely want to plan to come out to this event December 6th and 7th, 2024. I am looking for a dean of agents. That's a conversation you could talk to me on the side. With that, I learned a lot from what had happened the last time, and I pretty much know what I'm going to do about that position at this point, especially since it happens year to year, and it's not like month to month, at least not yet anyway. I would like to do it at least where it would be quarter to quarter if I could, but we got to start somewhere and then grow from there. That's how that piece of it goes. So yes, if you all did want to have a 3D message, a private session with me, well, however you want to call it, a reading or whatnot, it is $77 and 77 cents plus tax. You can book me on the Square site, www.soulmendingalchemist.com, and I'll go ahead and do that. And that money will be used towards the event to get everything paid down. I will be letting you know a little bit later tonight on ticket sales and how you could get them, because there are several types of ticket sales as well as photo packages as well. If you are coming out to the after party, which is on December 7th, starting at 6 p.m., then you'll want to definitely, you want to book that after party ticket. But I'm probably only going to have about 260 after party VIP tickets available. All right, and they will book fast. So just FYI, you can get a platinum VIP, and it will include the shopping pass to go with it. Otherwise, you would have to spend $125 for the shopping pass, of which you can go to the different vendors, which would be at the convention center in the exhibit halls. Okay, on December 6th and 7th. The shopping passes will be good for both days, by the way. if you're doing the actual platinum VIP. Otherwise, it's about 100, I believe, 100 or 125, but I don't have those notes with me right now. So yeah, please let me know. Send me an email privately if you need to. S as in Sierra, L as in Limo, M as in Mary, T as in Tom, agency at gmail.com if you are interested in this event. Or you can send a message even on the comment sections down below with your email, and I'll email you back with the flyers and everything that you really needed, okay? Pertaining to this event. All right, now, I think that I spoke enough about that. Again, $ Samuel Lombardo for all donations. And I appreciate the donations that have came thus far. And also appreciate the likes, shares, subscribes, as well as any comments as well. And the donations that have came thus far. I truly do appreciate it. It is helping out the community of AutoScholar USA a lot as far as where we need to go with things. So thank you for your investment and your time, and also in my way that I could be able to help you. And also from now on, anyone that does a donation on the Cash App, $20 or less, or excuse me, $25 or less will be a 3-card spread that I'll do for you for free of charge. Even before I go into the thing, you just have to send me the email or a message or something saying, hey, my name is so-and-so. And then you can get it on the live and you can watch the first part of the video, because I'll do all of those in the beginning and then go right into my messages. All right. If it is more than $25, like $25.01 or above, I'll go ahead and do a 5-card spread. Again, these are not the typical readings. They will be about 2 to 5 minutes, okay, give or take, but it will at least, you know, I'll give you something for your investment and your time. All right. And I, again, in advance, I do appreciate it. And I look forward to serving as many souls as I can, as well as mending the souls. Now, mending the souls is a whole nother process. It's not the reading process that you would typically get here on the entertainment of YouTube or Divine Guide 1111 on TikTok. Soul mending, it takes a little bit more work. It takes a lot of intuitive practice. It takes chakra cleansing. It takes projection. It takes a lot of things. You also get to meet my angels almost head on. We do certain little types of healing cleansing ceremonies as well. I also do health ceremonies as well for those of you needing health cleansing as well, and different workshops. So let me know about that if that does interest you. All right. But yes, look forward to helping you in your needs. Now, going into the subject matter of the day. Someone misses you and they regret it. This is the energy that I'm getting. This is a situation that has either occurred anywhere between 1 and 3 years ago. All right. So it could have been last year, it could have been the year before, or 3 years past. It's strongly suggesting 2022, something about 2022. And I think a lot of what I'm getting at is a lot of you all that may be going through this, you might be feeling it. It's like a name that you might have been mad with. Okay. In other words, oh, I would never want to talk to this person again. Never. Type of energy. But then you find yourself and you're like, why am I thinking about the person that I would never want to talk to? It's that kind of energy. And I feel like it's funny. I'm on Sirius XM channel 68, and there's a song played. It's a lot of soothing music. Okay, that is, for the most part, it is public domain. But there's a song that's playing right now in the background. You probably hear it. It's called Dream Palace. And it's funny because I was just thinking about this, because whoever is missing you out there, I feel as if they are daydreaming about you. Now, I don't mean this in the sense it could be love, okay? We can clarify it later. But right now, I'm just kind of touching bases with y'all. This is a person for which had pretended that they had no emotion for you. They were played busy. And a lot of it had to do with peer pressure, is what I'm hearing. Now, for some of you, you may be dealing with a scenario where there's a third party involvement. So like somebody is telling your person or your friend, or it could be a lover or whatever, okay? It could even be a coworker whom you are friends with, all right? So take it how it resonates and leave the rest. If it doesn't apply to you, then let it fly. But if this does apply to you, what I am actually seeing here is that somebody's been peer pressure to believe a lie, or to believe a system of statements, if you will, about a particular subject matter or regarding your person. So I am speaking to the person who is missing someone, and I'm also speaking to the person who's like, well, do I care? Okay, so this is going to be a very, very interesting, intuitive message that I have here today. Now, what they regret is the lies that stemmed up from the situation. Because the whole thing was, well, someone revealed a secret. Let's put it that way. Somebody revealed a secret towards someone about your person. And now that not only makes you regret the fact of why you had to take the stand that you did. See a piece of air floating. But it's also telling me that there was some very, very great distance between the two of you. For some of you, there might have even been some people setting people up to lose their jobs if they hadn't already lost their jobs. or even walked out and quit it. I mean, take it as it resonates with some of you, because it's like, you're going through a lot to the point where it's like, for some of you, it's like, I'm just sick and tired of this. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm done. And so you literally move on completely, not just somewhat, but like completely, as in like, I just don't have to be there where you were. I don't have to be around you. I can act like you don't exist. For some of you, you probably can't help it because you have to deal with it one way or the other. So then you're sitting there trying to figure out how you can hide, and you're thinking that you are actually able to hide with the people whom you were listening to, but actually they are the ones that is your trap. I call these fake cronies. So that's what I call them. I'm going to tell you what I call them right from. Actually, no, the real cronies are they're fake friends. These are more like frenemies. They want to know everything about you, but then technically try to use that information against you. If that makes sense. So for some of you, it could be a toxic family dynamic. For others of you, it could be a working scenario. For others of you, it could just be a straight up third party involvement, which could be any subject matter that we are speaking about here today. All right. This is a situation. This is a situation that I think you also want to be very, very mindful of, because if you're seeing that, here's a good example. If you are around certain quote friends where you feel like your life is actually still going downhill, but you're still considered them friends, then understand that that is going to be the biggest light that you're going to have, that's going to actually show how much of a friend this person is. Because obviously they're not going to care about your situation. If they honestly took the time in and did what they're saying that they're doing, then you wouldn't be seeing things progressing in a downward trend. That's not to say that every friend needs to take care of all of your business. That's not what I'm saying. But you're not going to see random people knowing your business. That's number one. Number two, you're not going to see where they want to know more information, but rather they will be talking about a situation with you. That's the difference between a real friend and a fake friend. A fake friend will act like they want to talk about a situation, but really they're looking for more information. Give you a few examples. Well, it's usually topics on the surface. Let's say you have a bad day at work. We'll just say it hypothetically, right? And they're like, well, what happened? You could give them any story. You don't have to tell them what happened. And they're going to run with it. Believe me, I test this all the time. And believe me, they do run with it, because literally I'll hear some of the stuff that, and I actually crack up. I might play like I'm mad, but I'll literally crack up deep down inside, because it's like, oh, really? Did you really think that that's what happened? Okay. And they'll make it look like that was really me, because that's the only side that they will say. That's just the way it goes. Because I'm not going to give them my real side. I'm not going to tell them, now I know that you're a fake, and now I know every little single thing of what you do, and even half the people that you talk to and all of that. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna act like I don't know it and then tell you anything that you would like to know. And if you didn't want to know it, you'll just talk about it behind me anyway. So usually I say the things that they don't want to know that really don't even matter to me. But they seem so real to the situation. That's the key. So like let's say that the sun went down, right? We'll just say that hypothetically. The sun went down. Well, they don't know that I meant that the clouds covered the sun up and it was pouring today. So they'll sit there, walk around, talk about, make this whole thing of, oh, this person's nuts. He's saying that the sun went down. Well, in truth, the sun goes down every day. But okay, you want to spread a lie that I'm nuts about the sun going down, then so be it. That's just one stupid example, but it kind of tells you where your frenemies are, okay? And then you'll know who your frenemies are because some of these people will buy into it and you'll hear the story going around and around and around. And then you're sitting there laughing inside. You're acting like you're pissed. Okay, you're like, oh, this person's talking about me. Oh my God, like that. I do it all the time, believe me. And then I'll sit there and I literally laugh right behind them. Because I know that they're liars. I know that they're fake busy. I know that they're, so I just go with the flow and then not even worry about it. You know what I mean? There has been times where I have learned some things where it kind of slipped down because you do want to trust people and but you don't want to seem like you are being desperate about who you're trusting and all this. And I feel like some people might have thought that, in my past, I've had that. Intuitively speaking, what I feel is that for some of you that are missing someone and regretting it, hear this out. I feel as if you're beginning to realize, see, balance. That's the song that's going. Somebody is in balance right now. Okay, confirmation, ding. I got a message on my phone. I use all these synchronicities. Somebody is in balance. Somebody was believing lies. And what sort? You're going to have to figure that out because obviously I've given you a few hints of where those lies could come in at. But I do believe that for the most part, what I'm feeling right now is being that this is also spiritual. I think you have an imbalance to your sacral chakra and your roots. Some of you might have even gotten as bad as the roots. Because, and for some others of you, it could even be heart chakra. The reason I say this is that for some of you, I believe they were using religious belief system to tie in their thought process to kind of make you the marionette, okay, the puppeteer. It's a little, what do you call them? Like little finger, what do they call those things? They're like puppets on a string, but it's like wood that and you can kind of stir it in any direction or something that I sort. That's what I'm saying with some of you. You allowed yourself to be the marionette. It's funny because when I pre-shuffled my Panther Oracle deck, the Marinette showed up. Right beside that, it was Sweetheart in reverse. So it's almost like they were trying to string you along away from your sweetheart, basically. Or it could be stringing you along away from your sacral energy, which is where God resides besides the crown, but where you're able to perceive things, where you're able to see things. Some of you may actually be the third party involved, and you could be dealing with watery eyes or some kind of a situation that's related to your eyes. Maybe not necessarily going blind, but they always water, is what I'm hearing. So maybe I call it teary eye. So maybe you may have like this situation where you're being more like a teary-eyed person, or it could be a legit issue going on. For some of you, you may have cataracts where they're literally just clogging up your sight. It's making it blurry. Some of you may want to go visit an eye doctor. I'm talking now to the not to the collective, but to those of you that want to counteract what you're on this live to listen to, so that you can counteract what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. Think what you need to counteract is your vision, because that's what I'm saying. Get the cataracts out of your eyes. If you can't afford it, figure a way how to, because you're only going to continue to log your thing. For some of you, I feel like insurance is becoming a reality, and you probably had to accept a job and offer. And that was part of the karma coming in for trying to get in the way of, if you will, of the responsibility of what needs to be done, or trying to take the easy way out, so to speak. You know, what I call, I'll give you an example of what I call that. It would be like a stage mama wanting her son or daughter to be on the stage and be the #1 model and hope that they make $1 million. So they're pushing and pushing and pushing to the point that the more that they push, the less that their own kid is actually making anything, because their attitude is dictating what their kid can do. But yet, they're wondering, well, why can I not get the income? Well, first of all, you're scaring half of it away. And then two, you're trying to control a situation that you have no control in. If you had the control, you would have already started the legacy before you had someone else begin it. So don't sit there and try to say that that's your legacy. That's not your legacy. You're fake busy. Your legacy is what you fell into the hole with. And that is that you have to get a job that actually pays you something so that you can get your insurance. It's not the other way around. Let's just be real. That's for some of you. I'm not going to say that resonates for all of you, but that does that will resonate with some of you. This could be a toxic family dynamic, like I said. Could be like a brother or a sister trying to get in the way. It could be a mother or a father or both. It could be a grandmother. It could be whatever. Okay. However it strings to the situation. But the overall piece of what I'm seeing here is that someone was too focused on trying to control you when they had no control in their own situation. And now they got, you know, while karma is being played out, they are somewhat in regret about a situation, realizing, oh, well, this is the reality. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Yeah, someone has a secret about some. I see. Howie Moon is the song that's playing right now. And you know what moon energy is? It's secrets, it's perception, not deception. I didn't say that. Deception is when you are taking your secret and trying to do something out of bounds that would basically, you're thinking you're trying to bring balance to a situation, but you're actually bringing it out of balance. It's just not a line. That's not what moon energy technically is. That would be more like the devil energy, deception. Okay. Moon energy, yeah, deep healing. Somebody's being awakened. Yes, confirmation message on my phone. Some of you might even be getting messages, or you might be seeing on the Facebook or whatever that, where somebody is typing where it's dot, 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 but nothing goes through. That's because somebody is saying something, but either A, it's being blocked, or they're not able to communicate what they really want to say. Take it as it resonates. For some of you, I'm also hearing something like, can you unblock me, please? I really need to talk, or something like that. That might be for some of you where that's pertaining. Again, I can clarify with 3D messages, but I don't have time to shuffle up anything right now. But I do see communication coming, but I don't think it's coming in a way that, for some of you, it could be a very surprising message because they're still not in control. So they're trying to detach themselves from the marionette string attachment. And so a good example of this would be like, it would be like, okay, let's say, right, you're old enough to move out of the house, right? Because a lot of people, they're stuck with the house rules, right? So you get old enough, now you can make your own decisions. It's like, okay, is it time for me to go? Do I really want to be stuck in this same predicament? Whatever. But then you got to be careful, because again, your chakras are sacral, chakras. I can pronounce words today. They're a little bit fuzzy, so it could cause you to see things differently, but you could make another mistake. And you don't want to have a bigger mistake than you already had, because then they're going to like double the knot and probably put another string on. So you have to be kind of brave. Now, if this is a love situation, then it's just a matter of you understanding that what is meant to be will be, and that person will still be there when it is the line time. Okay. If it's a work situation, then it might just be the matter of you deciding, do you feel like you're stuck? Do you feel like there's growth, or do you feel like they're just stringing you along? If that's the case, then maybe you need to let them know, hey, look, I found something else, and then keep it moving. That kind of scenario. If it's friendships, you gotta let them know you're not gonna string me along. There's no strings attached here. Okay. It's really about having that clear communication and making sure that you're being very clear about that communication that you're having. Some of these things, especially when it comes to like apologies and sincerity and all that, you don't need a Facebook for that. You really don't. And let me tell you, because I'm learning this too, even as I speak. A block and a ghost are two different things. They actually are. Now, a ghost is probably worse than a block, because with a block, okay, maybe you don't, maybe you're someone that is just all about social media. Okay, well, that person may not be social media related, or they don't want to spend as much time social media. So then you just have to consider that, whatever the case may be. But a ghost is when you're actually able to see the person and then they give you the cold shoulder. Because you can text all you want and they can still ignore you. That's still gonna be a ghost. Okay. But blocking, it's just it. I like to call it more or less, yeah, it's like a smack in the face. For some of you, it could be. But to be honest, the big FU whammy comes when you're being ghosted. Because understand this, it's just like having, like, okay, there's barricades on the street. All you're doing is taking a detour, you're still going to get to the same destination. You can't stop what is destined. Even if people want to throw barricades in your life from it, you cannot stop anyone from that. Now, you have the power in the way that you handle yourself. So, like, if you need to take a break from some, maybe there's too much communication, then you just, block someone on social media. Okay. But you have to be careful, because blocking does not mean ghosting. And that's what I thought, even up to even very recent, like several months ago. Okay. And you could be lying on someone unnecessarily. Yeah, they might have blocked you, but they're probably taking a break, but that doesn't mean that they're ghosting. Now, there are people that will do both. So you just have to test the waters and go from there. Most of the time, because again, and I'm starting to get that way, the only time I go on a social media is when I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and that's my lives. But now I do them, the intuitive messages, I don't even do them on Facebook. I do them here on my TikTok, or I do them on YouTube, like I'm doing now. Because I've learned that Facebook, you can have anybody. Half of them are probably fake anyway. I get about a dozen people messaging me a day. And they don't even get past "how are you" before I end up blocking, because of what happens next. Okay. So believe me, believe me when I say it. Okay. I am a normal person, and I know what's normal and what is not. And there are certain behaviors that I don't accept either. So, you know, take it as it resonates for you. Okay. And again, if you're not doing half of this stuff, then that's fine. Now, for some of you, if you're just wondering, now, did you regret something? Could your regret be unnecessary? That's possible. You both could be worrying about the same thing. Oh, well, they're never going to talk to me because I've never seen them. Type of energy. Or you're like, well, I'm not going to go there, and I'm not going to see so and so because, well, they block. Vice versa. So you're literally probably thinking about the same thing, overthinking the same stuff, And yet, really and truly, it's like, believe me, I know this energy very well. And I can sense it. Yeah, the song that somebody is making prayers for somebody. That's the song that's on now. If you honestly really need to make a communication, do it. Don't be afraid. I'm feeling like we already got the confirmations, and now Holy Spirit is telling me to tell you there are steps in this, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'll share that a little bit later tonight after work. But there are steps in what you need to do to reconnect with someone, especially after not seeing that friend or that person or whatever, you know what I mean, for a long time. And a long time will determine, I mean, about a year, I would say that's a long time. All right. So it's it's really just a matter of how you are communicating and if you are still stuck in the past. Because if you're still sitting there with the strings attached, like, no, they can come to me type of attitude, but you're acting as if there's no apology. Because understand, everybody needs to make an apology one way or the other. The break happened for a purpose. The person that puts the barricade in the way is no more guilty than the person who doesn't want to go around it and they're just stuck there at the barricade. Okay? It's no different. I promise you that. I'm 40 something now, and I've lived enough years to tell you how life barricades work. So I think the first thing that I want to tell, well, not the first, but the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to regret. Folks, regret comes when you know that you have to make an apology. Regret happens when you know that there's a situation that was not aligned to you or is not serving your best interest. Once you begin to see the light in that, that's when you can start piecing things together. So if you're afraid because of a regret, turn that around. I'll give you this piece of advice. Turn that around. This is why I'm considered a soul mending alchemist. Just a soul mending alchemist, so to be able to mend a person or even myself, to turn regret around and make it into something that is much more loving. This is the steps in the process that needs to take place. Um, First of all, you need to know what you are aligning yourself to. Now, you feeling stuck, is that actually an alignment, or do you feel like there's strings attached? Do you feel like you're just making somebody happy and not necessarily doing your own thing? Now, I'm going to give you a word of advice, and There's going to be some people that might not like this, especially if you are a devoted Christian that is very strongly conservative. This is going to be something that I'm going to bang your head with a little bit. But what I have been noticing, and what the Holy Spirit's been telling me, because these are signs of a Laodicean church. When you have someone at the pulpit, it could be your pastor, it could be the deacons, it could be the elders, it could be you. Okay, it could also be me because I've been down this road. But what happens is, instead of actually speaking about, okay, let me give you an example of what I'm about to do here. If you ever hear someone preaching at the pulpit, where it's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then all of a sudden they stop for a minute, right? And then they're like, well, but that doesn't mean this, so be careful. If you ever hear that, it's because they're manipulating a story around what it is that they're trying to tell you, but then turn around and realize, oh crap, but if I get caught with that, well, yeah, it's not like this, but it's like that. But they'll have the nerve to sit there and point fingers at other Christians, at other types. So it could be like about this pastor talking about a Lutheran, okay, or it could be vice versa, it could be whatever. But what happens in this energy is that you're making instead of, okay, some of you guys are, and this is a whole nother vision that God is actually showing me right now. And I think it has a lot to do with why certain things are taking place in the family realm. Because for some of you, I hate to say it now, you need to pray about it, because yes, you do need God in your life, and you should, you want to walk in the life of God and be able to study your Bible appropriately. But to have it manipulated, it is not it's not the same as you actually taking the word of God, praying over it, doing your own study. And then this time, that's why it's called being used for doctrinal purposes and study, and that you want to study a little here, a little there. If you're stuck on one book and you're having a whole entire Bible discussion on one verse, like, you're really not going to get too far. Which is probably why for some of you, you're probably still stuck in a book of Romans or Mark or whatever after a year, because you're preaching on 2 sentences and then trying to string that along with today's life purposes by how you feel. In other words, trying to have intuitive messages, but really those intuitive messages are only reversals that are in your liking, rather than actually asking God for what you should be preaching about at the pulpit, and then literally studying the Bible on that topic and sharing it with the people. If you're not doing that, then you're doing it for your own purpose. And no, I'm not talking about the Bible, the prayer before you read the Bible during service. I'm talking about when you pray before studying, like say Sunday morning is done, right? Now you're going to pray about it, and now you're going to go into Monday starting with the study. instead of trying to figure out how you're going to turn this next message into, oh, well, I think some people need to hear about this, but let me go ahead and try to tweak it like this. Because let me tell you, I can see right through it. I know that when people are making judgments and that up on the pulpit, okay, even if it doesn't sound like it. And then it'll turn around, and these things do happen. And that's a Laodicean church. Another thing about a Laodicean church is that they'll always talk about love, and then so it's the other way around. It's the liberal side. Oh, let's talk about love. As long as you love, you're holier than thou. Well, that's not true either, because until a few years ago, I was all about love, but that didn't mean I was loving for the right purpose. So that becomes egocentric, egotistical, excuse me, etc. Yeah, I'm thinking about my oranges that I'm growing. No, seriously. It's egotistical. So is the other one egotistical, but the other one is more manipulative. Okay, it's really, they actually know a whole lot about the Bible. Like, they're reading the scriptures, they're doing this, they're doing that, but they have one plan in sight. Okay, and that is to basically, and I'm not saying that they would take a person in the church and say, oh, okay, this is going to manifest to them. But 9 times out of 10, if you are wanting to resonate with the people, then you would have a message that would resonate with the people, not sound like something where you're trying to dictate the rules of the Bible. Because if it sounds like that, you could be 18 years old and still be going as a young adult with your parents. But that doesn't mean that you love being there. And I'm going to be very upfront and honest, because I was like, me when I was 18, I'll be very flat out and honest. I did not enjoy it because I knew that they were sitting there judging me right from the Sunday school lesson. Forget even sitting in the pew listening to the pastor. So, and I have a whole entire book in the process of literally how to come out of a Laodicean church. It's called the Laodicean Wake Up Call. And it will be pretty much and yes, I do use all the scriptures and everything for it. Now, whether or not churches will enjoy it or not, that's a different story. But the wake up call is that God is about ready to pass karmic judgment on these churches that technically just, are you going to do God's purpose, or are you going to be stuck in your ego and sit there and drain the church dead? Because they're falling asleep. They're not falling asleep because they're too loving. There is that side of it. They're falling asleep because they are being bored of the judgment calls as well. So you got the judgment calls, and then you have someone play acting busy and loving all the time. You still need to be you. And as a church, as a unity, you need to be able to work together in love within the church. So there's a whole section just about that in the book that I'm writing up right now, that talks about how you are unified in the church. Because for some of you, I see you at the pulpit, you are talking about how you want to get out of the Laodicean church, but you got a few things going wrong there. Now, for some others of you, you're wondering why the mega churches are growing. I'm hearing that there's this judgment call of, oh, it's because people are seeking this fake healing. Now, that may be true, But even if they don't get the healing in the way that they want it to, do you think that they're running away? They understand what a true healer is. Like a true soul mending alchemist, right? Is someone that can mend souls, take the bad within a person and make good out of it. Not continue down a further path into even more darker avenues. That's not what a true soul mending alchemist does. So I'm thinking that for some of you, there is a lot of confusion. And yes, it is true. I'm not going to lie, okay, in this. That doesn't mean that I don't listen to drums. I do listen to drums. I'm not going to say that the drums is bringing the angels to me. No, but I do listen to various types of Christian related music. Okay. But one thing that I am very certain of is what you hear in the background, very soothing. Okay. Harps, string instruments, all brass instruments, and they are in the scripture. It talks about a trumpet blower, it's a cymbal player, it's a harpist. The psalmist himself is a harpist, you know. So we don't have to sit there and spend a whole Bible teaching on how somebody is using drums to heal somebody. Well, we need to focus on, or have a whole sermon delved on how love is if you don't know what love is. Because for some of you have to adhere to your own advice. That's what I'm being told too. By the Holy Spirit. Right now, he's telling me that you need to adhere to your own advice. So the first step I would leave you with here this afternoon, look up what a Laodicean church is and look up what the Philadelphian church is. Because the issue here is that, and I'll give you a hint, has a whole lot to do with a lot of you that are talking about the books of that Paul is in, okay? And where he goes to the Colossians and the Ephesians and all this, right? I'll give you a hint. It's there. Yes, Romans does talk a lot about that as well. It's one of his books that he's written, okay? Has been inspired by God to do so. Well, okay, if that's the case, then you should know exactly what a Laodicean church is. And I will also tell you another foundation of the Laodicean church is they are not comfortable with things that are uncomfortable. So in other words, a conservative does not like when someone can show love to them. I hate to say it. You can go up to them and literally try to give them a hug, and it will be as if you touched them inappropriately. But you go to a liberal and you don't show love like that, then you're a judgeist. So where is the middle ground as a Christian? The Holy Spirit, God, Jesus being in there. And without that, you're in a Laodicean church. So it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. And this is why politics need to come out of the church. Because you're too focused on faking the rules. You're faking it till you make it. All right. Well, you know, this is how it's been. It's always been this way. Okay. Well, understand that what always been does not necessarily, yes, I also know other things that has always been, and you see where some of those things are today. A Laodicean church will not stay open. I'm being told that by the Holy Spirit right now, God Almighty, Ascended Master Jesus, as I'm speaking. Confirmation. And it's going to happen by your own work Because here's another thing: if you love so much, then you will give your tithes and you will be able to do the restorations that you need. If not, guess what? You can talk all you want, but it's not going to get nowhere without the action. And that's it. That's just the point blank truth. And yes, I do hear these certain things about big judgment, about, and I am going to touch base on this a little bit later when I have more time, because I don't have much time right now, because I need to talk about something before start where and I need to get me some lunch. But this whole situation about sexuality, first of all, let me get to the truth of it. Yes, God does frown on specific senses of the sexuality. However, we are not to go past, especially if the person isn't even going to be telling you anything or even showing you any signs thereof about it. You should not be passing judgment on a person just because something looks like something. Okay? Because anybody could look like anything. Believe me, this world is crazy and confused already. So to sit there and try to force someone into believing that they may be something that they are not, or you transpiring to be something that you're not, whatever the case may be, you don't have to do that. And any real friend will be able to step you through the process of getting around that, instead of sitting there talking bad about you behind your back, to use that as a way to scare you away. Because I've been seeing a lot of that energy as well. So yes, while it is true that God does frown on specific avenues of the sexuality, we also have to understand that they, just as well as us, are souls, human souls on this earth that do need healing, that need mending. And the goal is, unless you are weak and you're dealing with the same issues, then your strength would be to heal that so that they can see God's blessing in front of them, instead of it being the other way around. Oh, well, you're a fag. No, you're going to be in hell. Because there is no such thing as that. And just for that might have put you in hell. So yes, you want that truth? Yeah, the truth is true that God does frown on sexualities of sort, but also God frowns on you when you're trying to tell someone they're going to hell, when you have the opportunity before hell comes to be able to give them a glimpse of heaven. So take that rat for the rabbit hole and tell me where it leads. Again, we're back to this. It's always been that way. You know that God, you know that that's a sin. Well, that's the problem, is that there are legitimate people that do not believe that it is a sin. And a lot of people, a lot of what's going on today is so confused. So your job is to, hopefully, is to be able to get people out of confusion. And then, but you gotta pray about it. If you're doing it on your own, like, oh yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, this could, yeah. Well, let me just go say something. Hey, you know that's a sin, right? That ain't gonna do nothing. That's just gonna be them looking at you like, oh, you're an ass. Excuse my language, that is the truth. I'm going to be blunt and very straightforward here because that's what it comes off as. Whether or not you are saying that you are a Christian or not, if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, you consider yourself a Christian, and you start pointing out every single flaw, and you're not praying to God to find out, well, this person's in my energy. Well, how do I communicate with them? That's a question you need to pray to God about so that God can give you the answer. And trust in that time. Now, if you want to do a little something, they're like your friend or whatever, if things get to the point where they are getting uncomfortable, then you just need to be honest to say, hey, look, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable with this, and we tidy it down to that or whatever, then that's a different story. But if nothing is showing anywhere at any level, and someone is just showing genuine love, that should not be mistaken with somebody being a fag, and then you say, oh, they're going to go to hell. That's not the right behavior that God wants. And even if that is even 100% true, that maybe your thought might be right, does not necessarily mean that's when you stop and you pray about it and ask God, okay, God, you put this person in front of me. What is the reason? Because you might actually find out. I mean, look at how it used to be with Ezra being an Israelite, right? Dealing with a Persian king, but and signing the decree to kill all of the, back in the book of Ezra, I'm talking about, right? But this person was a mystery. All right, I must be touching someone because I'm hearing the song words touch. So if someone is going to be watching this live or you are watching it, do know that God is hearing your prayer, whether it's happening outside or within. And that's confirmation. I just had 4 messages coming through at the time that I just said that. So that's great. I'm glad. Praise God. Because that's the goal here. The goal is to tell the truth, all the truth, not parts of the truth, but all of it. And then to kind of work a plan down, okay, from there on how to heal from the brokenness that has been divvied up within this world. Because that's why someone such as myself, being a soul mending alchemist, is here to be able to teach this. I'm not going to teach you how to have the stars fall from the sky and how to do a curse or whatever, because that's not my job. Go to the devil, he'll teach you everything you need to know about that. And that's not a judgment, that's fact. Okay? The devil just doesn't like to be proven his truths. He's the liar, the deceiver, the projector, so to speak, to the screen. Like everything that you're doing, they'll blame you for doing it. You notice that you get projection all the time. Or the better one, oh, I'm going to marinate you. I'll put the strings on you, and I'm going to make all these rules up, but I'm going to make it to the point where you don't know that I'm actually the one breaking the rule, so yet blame you for doing it. What they don't realize is that you're the one pulling the strings. So if I was to break the rule, you're the one bending them. These people honestly don't get it. I'm telling you, they don't get it. It's as dim as actually it's dark as midnight. It's just weird. There's no light in it. That's not a devil act. And again, just like God, the devil is the influence. So if you're going to find ways to lie and cheat and project and do all these different things, like, oh well, you know that alcohol is bad for you, but Jesus turned the water into wine, so it's okay to drink wine. Shouldn't judge anybody for drinking wine, but it's okay to judge someone because you think that somebody is gay, and now you're gonna tell them they're going to hell, and it's like that person could literally be laughing at you. Because literally that's the energy I'm getting from this. Like, man, you're a joke. I'm gonna just go to the next church then where the pulpit sounds a little bit cleaner. No, I'm not looking for a love story either. I'm looking for the truth and all the truths. Not, oh well, like you can love everyone, but now God didn't say that you couldn't love like this type of thing. And it's like, oh, that's because I saw you at the bar the other night, right? Where you were hitting on your own wife, cursing her out, and you didn't think I didn't see her. Oh, okay, I see why you said that. Gotcha. Yeah, it's cute. Let me tell you something. Nothing can be hidden in God's eyes. Nothing. And again, if you are going to make rules, meaning like these are world rules, and I'm speaking of anybody now, you could be a politician, you could be a CEO, you could be a leader, okay? Or you could be a church leader. This is to anybody, it should resonate. But if you're going to have rules, make sure that they are going to be the rules that you will also be comfortable in, and that you can't just make some kind of an adjustment just because understand this, the higher up you are more of an influence than those that are below you. So if you are someone that is a manager saying do not do this, do not do that, make sure that you are actually comfortable with your own rules. Okay, because if you are not, it is being projected outwards, and that's why people are breaking that. Just understand that. That's the whole point of me having these sessions. And these are just intuitive learning sessions. This is not even, anything that I normally would do on my YouTube. But I figured, and this also has a lot to do with why your person, to whoever this is that's dealing with regret right now and is missing their person, it's because you're beginning to realize that you know your role and that you don't have to bend them, and that it's divine time. Well, the regret was that there were certain rules So you were afraid to bend, but now you're more comfortable in what it is that you're doing. That's the biggest thing, because you don't want to be sitting there looking like a hypocrite. Whether you are actually a Christian or not, that is what a true definition of a hypocrite is. It doesn't mean if you're Christian or if you're spiritual or if you're not. A hypocrite is a hypocrite. So understand that. Again, it's another truth, but the truth has to be told. Same way with favoritism. Are you going to lie your way out of the favoritism, or are you going to actually realize it's happening? You know what I mean? Those kind of things. Manipulation, deceptions, whatever, You just have to. So that's a lot. I know I put a lot out there in about hour and 22 minutes, including my 20 minutes introduction with my business announcements. But I just wanted it to kind of share a little bit of this with you guys, of what some of the intuitive messages were in the past couple of days. But we will confirm some of this on the 3D level, so don't worry about that. That will happen. It's just a matter of I have to do it tonight because I don't have time right now. All right. So next time, have a blessed day. Remember to unleash the artist within and let your light shine through Jesus. Peace.